How many Lego heads to fill a bathroom sink? Wash your hands, because we're diving in plastic first. You're brushing your teeth, staring into the abyss of the bathroom sink. And your brain does what brains do best. Ask something deeply impractical. How many Lego heads would it take to fill this thing? Time to drain the math. A standard bathroom sink holds about 15 liters of water. That's 0.015 cubic meters of prime plastic filling real estate. A Lego head? Picture a little yellow cylinder, about 1.2 centimeters in diameter and 1 centimeter tall. That gives it a volume of around 2.26 cubic centimeters, or 0.00000000260 cubic meters if you want to impress your science teacher. But of course, these little noggins don't stack like bricks. They roll, tumble, and leave space between them. So we factor in a 60% packing efficiency. With all that considered, the grand total is 7,958 Lego heads. That's enough heads to make you question your choices in the middle of a Target checkout aisle. So there you have it. Nearly 8,000 Lego heads to fill a basic bathroom sink. Just don't try this at home. Or at least tell your plumber it was a theoretical experiment. Comment what part of your house we should fill next. How many Lego heads to replace all the popcorn in a movie theater? Grab your ticket. This snack's getting swapped for plastic. You walk into the theater, the lights are low, the previews are rolling, and suddenly, instead of buttery popcorn, you reach into your bucket and clink, clink. Lego heads? Let's imagine the ultimate switcheroo. How many would it take? An average movie theater probably sells around 200 large buckets of popcorn per packed showing. Each bucket, about 7 liters. That's 1,400 liters of popcorn, or 1.4 cubic meters of delicious fluff. Now swap that out for Lego heads, those little yellow cylinders of cinematic confusion. They're just 1.2 centimeters wide and 1 centimeter tall, with a volume of about 2.26 cubic centimeters. But they're not perfectly packable. Gaps and air spaces mean we use a 60% packing efficiency. So after crunching the numbers, the total comes to 742,723 Lego heads. That's enough to confuse every popcorn lover in the building, and probably break a few molars if you bite down too fast. So there you have it, 742,723 Lego heads to replace every pop in the popcorn, but maybe keep the butter to yourself. Comment what food we should swap next. How many Lego heads to replace every gumball in a giant gumball machine? Time to trade jawbreakers for mini plastic noggins. You stroll past a giant gumball machine, towering, spinning, a glass globe filled with colorful sugar bombs. But what if you weren't after a sugar rush and instead wanted a brick-by-brick headache? Let's find out how many Lego heads it would take to completely fill that giant gumball machine. We'll assume the machine's upper globe is a sphere about 1.5 meters in diameter. That's a 0.75 meter radius, giving it a volume of about 1.77 cubic meters. Now your average Lego head? Tiny. It's just about 1 centimeter tall and 1 centimeter wide, which gives us a volume of 0.000000785 cubic meters. But these little heads are cylinders, and we can't cram them in perfectly, so we factor in a 70% packing efficiency. That gives us 1.24 cubic meters of usable fill space. And finally, when we divide that by the volume of one Lego head, you'd need 1.58 million Lego heads to replace all the gumballs in one giant gumball machine. That's one big nightmare for your dentist, and an even bigger one for your local Lego janitor. Comment what other food dispensers we should hijack with plastic parts. How many Lego heads to fill a frying pan? Stir fry just got a lot more plastic. You walk into your kitchen ready to whip up dinner when you notice something's off. Your pan is full of Lego heads. Yep, no oil, no onions. Just the tiny yellow noggins of the minifigure population. So, how many would it take to completely fill that pan? Let's throw this recipe into the math blender. A typical frying pan has a diameter of about 30 centimeters and a depth of 5 centimeters, which gives us a volume of around 1.77 liters. Now, a single Lego head, it's about 1 centimeter tall and 1 centimeter wide, and that gives us a volume of about 0.000000785 cubic meters. But we can't stack them perfectly. These are cylinders, and even Lego physics have limits. So we factor in a 70% packing efficiency. With all that in mind, to fill your pan completely, you'd need 3,150 Lego heads. That's a full sauté of expressionless yellow faces. Delicious? Number disturbing? Absolutely. So next time someone says, "You cooking?" tell them only if they like their stir-fry crispy and ABS plastic flavored. How many Lego heads to match the weight of a soccer ball? lace up, because today we're pitting plastic noggins against the king of the pitch. Let's kick this off. A regulation soccer ball weighs about 430 grams. That's your classic FIFA-approved goal-smashing globe of air and leather. Now, a single Lego head, the yellow cylindrical kind every minifig wears with pride, weighs around 0.55 grams. It may not have thoughts, but it's got mass. So how many of these tiny grinning helmets do you need to equal the weight of one soccer ball? Let's divide it out. 430 grams divided by 0.55 grams per Lego head equals 782 Lego heads. That's right, 782 tiny plastic heads to go toe-to-toe with one soccer ball. Imagine a stadium full of fans, but it's just piles of heads, no bodies, just a chaotic sea of smiling, interchangeable baldness. And no, they can't kick back, but stack them right, and you've got one oddly shaped, very uncomfortable soccer substitute. So there you have it, 782 Lego heads to match the weight of one soccer ball. A yellow army equalizer, 1 gram at a time. How many Lego heads would fit inside a commercial airplane cabin? Stow your tray tables, because today we're boarding a flight straight into absurdity. Let's taxi into the math. We're talking a standard single-aisle commercial plane here, like a Boeing 737. It's the workhorse of air travel, flying tourists, commuters, and middle-seat warriors everywhere. The cabin volume, about 7,000 cubic feet, or in metric terms, around 198 cubic meters of in-flight legroom, oxygen, and pretzel crumbs. Now, the humble Lego head, every minifig's removable noggin, is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall. That's a volume of roughly 1.03 cubic centimeters per head. But hold on. Lego heads don't pack perfectly. You've got air gaps, weird stacking, chaos in the overhead bins. So we'll factor in a realistic packing efficiency of about 60%. So we do the math. 198 cubic meters equals 198 million cubic centimeters. Now multiply that by 60%. 198 million times 0.6 equals 118 million. 800,000 usable volume. Then divide that by 1.03 cubic centimeters per Lego head, and the answer is 115,339,805 Lego heads. Yep, over 115 million plastic domes bouncing around in coach. That's enough minifig brains to replace the population of a mid-sized country, with yellow smiles and 0 carry-ons. Of course, there's no flight crew, no seats, no drink carts, just a pressurized sea of expressionless cranial plastic. So there you have it, 115 million Lego heads to fill the cabin of a commercial airplane. Not exactly FAA approved, but definitely a turbulent math trip. How many Lego heads to fill the Mariana Trench? Grab your diving gear, or maybe just your imagination, because today we're plunging plastic into the planet's deepest pocket. Let's dive deep into the math. The Mariana Trench, Earth's deepest underwater trench, is a mind-blowing 11,000 meters deep. But we're not just going for depth, we're going for volume. Estimates put the volume of the trench around 12,250 cubic kilometers. That's 12.25 trillion cubic meters. Now, each Lego head, tiny, like really tiny, measuring about 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall. Each head has a volume of about 1.03 cubic centimeters, or 0.000000103 cubic meters. But heads don't stack like bricks. There's air gaps, awkward tumbling, underwater chaos. So we factor in a 60% packing efficiency. Time for some truly unhinged math. 12.25 trillion cubic meters times 0.6 equals 7.35 trillion usable Lego volume. Divide that by the volume of one Lego head. And the answer is 7.14 quadrillion Lego heads. Staring up from the ocean floor, a minifig tsunami. A yellow ocean of expressions trapped miles below sea level, smiling forever. Of course, that's assuming they survive the pressure, and that no aquatic life files a complaint. So there you have it, 7.14 quadrillion Lego heads to completely fill the Mariana Trench. How many Lego heads to fill a shopping cart? Grab your receipt, because today we're loading up on plastic noggins instead of groceries. Let's roll into the math. We're talking about a standard American shopping cart, the metal rattle mobile you navigate through cereal aisles. On average, it holds about 100 liters of space, or 0.1 cubic meters. Now enter the Lego head. Every minifig's proud, cylindrical cranium measures about 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, giving it a volume of approximately 1.03 cubic centimeters, or 0.000000103 cubic meters. But Lego heads don't fit together like perfect puzzle pieces. There's air, angles, and chaos. So we factor in a packing efficiency of 60%, because plastic is unpredictable. Now for the crunch, 0.1 cubic meters times 60% equals 0.06. Usable cubic meters, 0.06, divided by 0.000000103 equals 58,252. Lego heads. Yep, 58,252 little yellow faces jammed into your average shopping cart. That's enough to give every minifig in a small city a makeover. And no, you can't push it around quietly. That cart's gonna sound like a hailstorm of expressionless judgment. So there you have it. 58,252 Lego heads to max out a shopping cart. One wobbling, rattling plastic haul at a time. How many Lego heads to fill a hot tub? Don't fire up the jets because today we're swapping warm bubbles for cold plastic craniums. Let's dive into the math. We're talking your average round backyard hot tub. Seats about 4 to 6 people, probably used 90% of the time by one guy with too much free time. The typical volume, around 1,100 liters or 1.1 cubic meters. Now, the classic Lego head, those iconic yellow cylinders, are about 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, with a volume of 1.03 cubic centimeters, or 0.000000103 cubic meters. Of course, Lego heads don't stack like Tetris. We're dealing with weird gaps and random orientations, so we factor in a 60% packing efficiency to keep it real. Here comes the calculation. 1.1 cubic meters times 60% equals 0.66. Usable cubic meters, 0.66 divided by 0.0000001. 03 equals 640,777 Lego heads. Yep, you'd need over 640,000 tiny yellow noggins to fill up your average hot tub. That's enough minifig faces to make a spa day look like a crime scene. They're all smiling, and none of them are floating. And just for fun, if you did turn on the jets, you'd probably launch half of them into the neighbor's yard. So there you have it. 640,777 Lego heads to flood a hot tub with pure minifig madness. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a car gas tank? This is a critical question because, honestly, gas prices are too high. Maybe we should just run our cars on Lego heads. It wouldn't work, but at least it would look fun. So, let's start with the tank. The average car gas tank holds about 50 liters of liquid. That's 0.05 cubic meters of space if you're the type of person who likes to measure things in big science numbers. A Lego head is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, weighing about 0.55 grams. Volume-wise, if we treat it like a tiny hollow cylinder, we're looking at about 1.04 times 10 to the negative 7th cubic meters per head. Now, here's where it gets real. You can't pack Lego heads perfectly because they're roundish, so they don't fit snugly like bricks. The packing efficiency is about 60%. That means each Lego head effectively takes up a little more space in our calculation, around 1.73 times 10 to the negative 7th power cubic meters when you factor in the empty gaps between them. Divide the gas tank's volume, 0.05 cubic meters, by that adjusted Lego head volume, and you get about 289,000 Lego heads to fill an average car gas tank. That's almost 300,000 little smiling faces staring up at you every time you unscrew your gas cap. And at 0.55 grams each, the whole tank would weigh about 160 kilograms. So your car might not be going anywhere. So there you have it. To fill a car gas tank, you'd need about 289,000 Lego heads, which is a lot of plastic, and 0 miles per gallon.
How many Lego heads would it take to pave Times Square? Because when you think most visited place in New York, you obviously think, let's rip up all the asphalt and replace it with billions of tiny smiling yellow faces. Times Square covers about 147,000 square feet of pedestrian space. That's just the plaza area people actually walk on, not the buildings. A Lego head is 10.11 millimeters in diameter and 12.95 millimeters tall. If we're paving, we care about the top-down footprint, which is a circle about 10.11 millimeters across. That gives each Lego head a footprint of about 80.27 square millimeters, or 0.0008027 square meters. We'll assume perfect packing efficiency since we can shave the heads to fit. Kidding, sort of. But realistically, circles on a flat plane only pack about 90% efficiently. That means each head effectively covers 0.000722243 square meters. Now convert Times Square's plaza into square meters. 147,000 square feet equals about 13,656 square meters. When we divide 13,656 square meters by 0.00072243 square meters per Lego head, the result is approximately 189,015,205 Lego heads. That's over 189 million Lego heads, more than enough for every tourist to take a few home as a souvenir and still leave Times Square looking like a giant yellow mosaic. So there you have it. To pave Times Square in Lego heads, you would need exactly 189,015,205 of them. Probably the only way to make the place even harder to walk through. How many Lego heads would it take to pave the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Because when you think of honoring celebrities, the obvious choice is replacing pink terrazzo stars with billions of tiny yellow faces grinning up at you. The Hollywood Walk of Fame stretches along Hollywood Boulevard and Vine Street for a total of about 1.3 miles. That's roughly 6,864 feet of walkway. The average width of the sidewalk along the route is about 15 feet. Multiply length by width, and you get 102,960 square feet of surface. A Lego head is 10.11 millimeters in diameter, which means its top-down footprint is a circle about 10.11 millimeters across. The area of that circle is about 80.27 square millimeters, or 0.0008027 square meters. When paving, you can't pack circles perfectly without leaving gaps. In real life, circles on a flat plane pack about 90% efficiently. That makes each Lego head effectively cover 0.000722243 square meters. Now, convert the Walk of Fame's area to square meters. 102,960 square feet equals about 9,566 square meters. When we divide 9,566 square meters by 0.000072243 square meters per Lego head, we get approximately 132,372,275 Lego heads. That's over 132 million little yellow faces staring up at you as you try to spot your favorite celebrity star, which might be even more unnerving than being recognized by a real celebrity. How many Lego heads would it take to fill the tunnels of the London Underground? Because when you're stuck waiting for your train, you could instead be waist deep in tiny yellow faces. The London Underground has about 250 miles of tunnels in total. That's 402 kilometers. Of course, not all of these tunnels are the same shape or size, but for this calculation, we'll use the average internal diameter for a deep level tube tunnel, which is about 3.56 meters. A tunnel is basically a giant cylinder. The cross-sectional area of a circle is pi times radius squared. The radius here is half of 3.56 meters, so 1.78 meters. Squaring that gives 3.1684, and multiplying by pi gives about 9.955 square meters of tunnel cross-section. Multiply that area by the total tunnel length in meters, 402,000 meters, and you get roughly 4,001,910 cubic meters of tunnel space. Now for the Lego heads. Each one is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, and we're treating them as perfect little cylinders for simplicity. The radius is half the width, or 5.055 millimeters. The volume is pi times 5.055 squared times 12.95, which comes out to about 1,035.6 cubic millimeters per head. In cubic meters, that's 0.00000010356 cubic meters per head. We can't pack them perfectly because of the gaps between cylinders. A realistic packing efficiency for shapes like this is about 60%, so each Lego head effectively occupies 0.000000176 cubic meters. Now, divide the total tunnel volume by the per head effective volume, 4,001,910 cubic meters divided by 0.0000001726 cubic meters is approximately 2,318,543,920,164 Lego heads. That's over 2.3 trillion Lego heads, enough to give every person on Earth more than 280 Lego heads each, which is exactly the kind of creepy, mathematically excessive fact that keeps me up at night. Subscribe for more and drop your wildest ideas in the comments. I'll do the math for you.